That is awesome. What is it going to do next? I think it's going to do something even more bizarre next. I think it's going to try and do a full back stretch over the log. Oh. All it needs is a newspaper now and it'd be like a very professional hyena. A shame, has it got a thorn in its foot potentially? Or was it just chewing? No, it's just chewing on the log, doing what a hyena do best. They chew on just about anything, and most of the bushes in and around of this den site have been attacked by all these cubs and are now just bare stumps. All three other cubs have moved around onto the other side of the den, and it looks like this one may join. It's feeling left out. It really is a wonderful still evening. It was fairly windy earlier, but there's now not a breath of wind. Well, I lie, there's a tiny breath of wind. But it's a very peaceful and calm evening. And it is such a magical time of the year to be here. I'm going to try and not move the vehicle too soon and just give it a few moments to see if these cubs don't come back. Whew, Mom looks like she had a tough night last night. They move incredibly big distances every night in search of potential food, be it that they scavenge or that they potentially hunt themselves. But their tracks litter all the roads in the morning, and they are built and designed to cover these huge distances every evening. I can't believe how far this little cub is beginning to wander away from the den. In just such a short space of time, we're already noticing such marked differences in its behavior. And look, I guess you could say it is a little bit too far, but on a very still evening like this, the mother will be confident with her hearing and senses to detect any possible threats coming. And I guess that is why a lot of young predators, be it hyena, lion and leopard, or wild dog, they often do get killed by other predators. There are these risks that kind of need to be taken. You can't expect this little cub to stay bunkered down in that den until it grows up into an adult hyena and then faces the world. They do slowly need to expose themselves to their surroundings, to potential threats, in order to learn the ways of the wild. They cannot be pampered in cotton wool and hidden from all these realities, or otherwise how would they ever learn? I think the youngest one wants to play king of the castle because it keeps running up onto the termite mound and then looking back at the others hoping that they'll follow. This time I think he may have only made it halfway. We're not sure if it is a male or a female yet, as we discussed last night at the fireside chat. But the fact that it is a single sibling means that it could well have outcompeted its sister. Sisters will compete more fiercely than if a sister had a brother, because she knows instinctively from birth that another female will be a rival to the throne. And it's said that about 25% of all hyenas are killed by siblicide, and it's within that first month of being alive. So often the cubs will kill one another before we even get to see them. Speaking of seeing the cubs, I think it is just about time to move the vehicle so that we can see them. And I guess we could then possibly deduce that the two twins are both brothers, less inclined to want to kill one another. What are you coming to do? We need a little mirror on a stick so we can check to see what they're doing.
He's nibbling.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hey, you, D. I've got a feeling this mother's gonna probably head off soon, tuck her little cub into bed. Matty, one of our friends all the way in Ohio, is watching this evening, and good to have you with us again, Matty. Isn't this such an awesome sighting of the hyena? They're so close to us. And Matty's interested to know, will brown hyena and spotted hyena get along? And Matty, they probably won't. I've never actually seen them together, but my guess is that they would compete for food. All the animals out here don't like sharing their food with one another, Matty. Unless they're the animals that eat the plants, they don't mind. All the herbivores and all the antelope, the impala and buffalo and elephants, they get along and share food, but the predators, the hyenas and the wild dogs and all the hyenas and lions, they're very greedy. We're under attack. The hyena cubs are trying to take over our vehicle here. And it's interesting because they are so inquisitive when they're young, but as soon as they grow up, they become a lot more skeptical of us, and I guess that's wisdom coming through. But these cubs think we're part of their playground. We've been discussing a lot about the hyenas and their complexities, and how female cubs are more likely to try and kill their sisters than the likelihood of brothers killing one another. And Charlie, age 16, is also watching the show, and he would like to know, why is it that the females compete so aggressively with one another and the males don't? And the females in the hyena world, Charlie, are the most dominant ones. So the lowest ranking female within this clan of hyena will still be ranked higher than the highest ranking male. The females are often also bigger than the males. And because of this kind of change in dominance in roles, the female hyena will compete very aggressively and are born with instinctive needs, knowing that they will be competing with their sisters in the future. It is one of those things in nature that really is interesting. Oh, is it going to get carried off to bed? I think it might. Watch closely. I think it is going to get unceremoniously carried off to bed. Or is Mom just trying to give it a clean? I think she's just trying to clean it. There we go. But the cub's not having any of it. It might get picked up by the back leg if it's not careful. The mother's trying to be as delicate as possible, but still get the job done, and she basically wants to lick between the legs, as well as carry the cub back to bed. They would usually carry them from around the neck and the head, but this cub is putting up a fight. Oh, she's given up. And I wonder if she hasn't heard something, if she hasn't heard another hyena or something approaching that she's gone to investigate. We'll monitor that closely. And yeah, back to your question, Charlie. Oh, mountain goat. Because the males don't have the title of queen to work towards or be born into, they don't need to compete with one another as fiercely and aren't too concerned with having brothers. They know it doesn't make any difference to them where they fit in. So they are less aggressive and less confrontation than the females. And this is all just playful banter. Those two cubs know that if they were to hurt the little cub would let off one squeak and its mother would be there in a second teaching those cubs a lesson. So even though it does look like it is a little bit too rough, rest assured, if that cub wanted its mother to come in for backup, it would take one tiny little squeak. That is crazy. What can you hyenas smell with those powerful snouts of yours? Even that tiny little cub is holding up its nose into the air. From such a young age, it already is showing how good their senses are. The three older cubs have also picked up their noses into the wind and are now, some of them are even moving off up the road. I wonder what it is that they've smelt. But really impressed that you can see that cub already processing smell, processing information. So we've been very fortunate. As I said on the way here, they've probably been at this den now for over a month and a half. And they chop and change between two different dens at the moment that we know of. The other one's about half a mile away from here. And Karen would like to know, How much longer will they be here for? It's impossible to say. It always varies how long they decide to spend at either one. And with my experience with hyena clans over the years, I've never really got a solid or useful number to work off, but anywhere from 2 or 3 weeks to 2 or 3 months they can use a den site before rotating. And I've seen some hyena clans with up to 4 or 5 different den sites, whereas these two only have, this clan only has 2 that we know of. What can you smell there, little one? Hey? Are we under attack again? What do you two want from us? You're going to teach your baby cousin bad habits. One thing that I have not discussed this evening is the strange genitalia of the hyena, and Mish is wanting to know, why do hyena, both male and female, appear to have the same genitalia? And it's hard to say exactly why they've evolved in this way, but basically the female has got a pseudo penis, so it's a greatly enlarged clitoris which can be erected. They use it for urinating, for copulating, and for giving birth. So it's all used for those 3 things, and it looks very similar to the penis of the male hyena. The females lack an external vaginal opening, so where that used to be is the false scrotum of a female, which resembles the scrotum of a male. So that's what makes sexing these animals very difficult, and why they've evolved into this very strange scenario is hard to say. They're one of the only mammals that I know of that lacks an external vaginal opening, and that's what makes them so bizarre, and it also what makes them have their own family entirely. They're not in the cat family, they're not in the dog family, they are in the Hyenidae family, and they are very, very unique creatures in terms of their behavior, in terms of their anatomy, and in terms of how they look. So really interesting, and there is a lot that we still need to learn about them. Sorry, I thought I just saw another hyena approaching there, but it wasn't. Now, because the light is beginning to fade, we're not going to use any spotlights here. It's still a very sensitive area, this, and as soon as the picture quality drops too much, we will have to move on, but I don't know how much longer we will be able to be here before that happens, because already I can see it's getting a little bit crackly. You've got no more tricks to pull out your sleeve there, Andrew, or do we? No.
Negative.
Okay, so Andrew's as far as he can be in terms of the... Oh, look, this is interesting. I think that was a little anal pasting we caught the end of there. And even look at this cub, the way from such a young age its genitalia is already intact and part of their social functioning. So when they get excited, the genitalia will become erect. And there we go, there it's anal pasting again. So from such a young age, which is, there's basically a scent gland that they'll rub a creamy, milky substance onto the blade of grass, marking their territory. And from such a young age, these cubs are getting involved in the communicatory processes important for hyena. And isn't it hard to believe? You think of us as humans and how we're behaving. Obviously, everything's relative, but even when we're 10 years old, we have yet to adopt some of these skills that this tiny little hyena is already learning and teaching itself. And we can't fall behind out here, so it's already getting involved. Oh, look at how cool that was. And we've just got a question through from Kay on Hyena Audio, and she would like to know if the hyena are the animals that make a loud yodeling sound when getting excited. They make an array of different noises. They've got a high-pitched cackle, very similar to the one we've just heard now. The adults will let that same noise out when they get excited. Some of you may have been watching last night and heard some more crazy audio of the hyena, but their most typical call is a whooping. Well, that's not the best impersonation of a hyena's call, but it's mine. And they have they've got a whole array of varying calls depending on their mood, what they're trying to say, but their general communication is that loud whooping, and that may be the sound you're referring to. Okay? So, let me just try and reverse a bit here, but I fear we may have exhausted our credit here at the hyena den. It looks like we may get spoiled with a few last glimpses of these critters, and hasn't it been wonderful? Such a pleasant surprise to find the den active again. And like I said earlier, this is by far the most playful I've seen this cub, and also the furthest I've seen it, ranging from the entrance to the burrow, which is just up there. That's the entrance to the burrow where the little cub sleeps. We haven't seen that today because it's been out the whole time. But there are multiple different entrances into a network of burrows in this old termite mound. I wonder where the mother's gone. She may have snuck off. The cub just can't get enough play with its cousins, but it's seeming to become a little bit tired. It doesn't have as much energy as it did earlier. And good to hear we've got another person converted to Team Hyena, and that's Gemma. Very good to hear that you have also fallen in love with these bizarre animals. And the good news is we're not going anywhere, and we're going to be able to continue watching these cubs grow. And who knows, we could be seeing them in some very different scenarios in the future months. Chasing leopards up trees, stealing from lions. Who knows what will happen with these little cubs when they grow up, but they certainly will lead an interesting life out here. Oh, have they sensed something? Is there another hyena coming? I thought I heard a soft call. And you saw those tails going up? A sign of excitement? Maybe their mother's coming back. The mothers will often leave during the hottest hours of the day once they've fed the cubs and be able to rest and relax, and then without the cubs pestering them the whole day for something to drink. So the mother could be coming back to nurse before she heads out to try and find some more food. One cub's moving off, and so are the two bigger ones now, or all three of the larger ones. The little black cub I haven't seen though. I don't know where it's gone, but I think it knows now it's bedtime. And we'll slowly make our way out of here now. And before we do, I would like to say very, very big thank you to all of you for joining into the show, sending through questions. The interaction that we are able to do with you is really, really wonderful. So please keep sending through not only your thoughts but also your comments, just to let us know how you're feeling and what the weather's like wherever you're watching. Thanks to Andrew on camera, and also to Nikki and Kirsty in the final control room. We've got another WildEarth team member from Johannesburg who's come up today, who's going to be replacing Christy, so that's Louise, and we look forward to having her in the camp. So she's going to be a new name that you'll be hearing over the radio waves. But until the next safari, a big thanks again from me, and we will see you all on the next one. Over to Jamie.
So guys, welcome back. And while you were having that amazing time with Scott and that incredible little hyena cub, I've been very stubbornly, I thought I heard something. I've been very stubbornly staying in the area where I lost Karula. So just to give you a rough idea of where I am, I looped around and came to the northern section of our boundary, and she would be somewhere off into the block on my left. And I've been just every now and again stopping and listening for any sign of her, in the hope that maybe the alarm calls are coming through. Whilst Viam and I were driving through, we did see lots and lots of general game, including those Inyalas that I'm almost certain she was stalking earlier. So I have just tried to keep with her and just see where she's gone. I have looped around several times. In fact, the wildebeest told me it's probably the most times he has ever looped around that block, or this particular block. Still no luck, and I didn't see her tracks coming out, and I wasn't the only guide looking. So she is potentially somewhere still in there and just hiding from me. So not sure where she's gone, but I've been keeping an eye out since then. And it really is a truly, truly spectacular winter sky that we're seeing this evening. Really beautiful colors. And I've just been stopping to sit and listen. So I'm just going to take it a little bit further, see if maybe we can search around for her. It has been a truly exciting afternoon for me, and I know where I will be starting my search tomorrow. If we don't get lucky and we don't find her now, we don't have much time left, so I do want to just get moving, see if we can see something. But if we don't get lucky tonight, I'm definitely coming back here first thing tomorrow morning to see what will happen. So let's hit the road, take our chances. This is the general direction that she came in. Come on, Karula. I know that you are here somewhere. That skyline is absolutely spectacular. It is really, truly a stunning, stunning evening this evening. We can just see the silhouettes of the Drakensberg Mountains really actually showing nice and clearly through the trees. I think because it has been so windy over the past few days, it's just blown away some of that haze. And I wish I could put into words the feelings that I have when I look at a sunset like this. But maybe I don't have to. Maybe you all know exactly how I feel. But a really spectacular end to what's been an incredibly exciting afternoon for me. It was my first time seeing Karula, and I can see why she has captured so many hearts. Very graceful, beautiful animal. So even though we didn't manage to find her again, and we have run out of time, this is such a special view to end off a really special afternoon. And we've just got Venus looking over the side there. So guys, thank you for all joining me on an amazing sunset safari. I loved seeing Karula, and I'm so glad that I could share it with all of the viewers. And thank you to the wildebeest for all of his amazing camera work as we went crashing through the bushes. Thank you to Nikki and Kirsty and FC and Eugene and Alex. And join us tomorrow for the sunrise safari, where I will be straight back here first thing to follow up on Karula. Have a wonderful day, everyone.